Okay, I said it. Programming is hard, but you don't care. You actually want to learn and you want to know how to develop applications. What do you do? Well, I have a solution for you, but it depends on what exactly you are trying to be. If you want to be a front-end developer or if you want to be a back-end developer. Now, we are going to start by talking about the front-end developer experience. So if you want to build front-end applications, I will suggest first you learn how to design, okay? Yes, you need to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then get to learn React later, but you actually need to really care about design because you're not just going to start and make great applications just out of the box. You have to exactly know what the hell you are doing before you start programming. That's why I said in the video that design used to be my problem. I really did not care about it back then. All I would do is I would just come on my computer, think about something I want to do in my head, and try to do it on the computer. It does not work because you will realize once you actually put it to code that it's not what you want, and then you have to erase all of it, okay? And that leads to frustration easy, okay? You can just easily get frustrated and end up abandoning. So I stopped doing that. Again, learn how to design. I'm not talking about like just going to Udemy and like buying all the design courses over there. All I'm saying is learn a little bit about design. And by that, I mean learn user experience design, learn user graphics design, UI, user interfaces, okay? So as you can see here on my notebook, I have a sketch on, I think it was a blog post that I was trying to design here. I'm not sure if you can see clearly. Yeah, this is it. So you can see that things are layered in the way I wanted them. I thought about the structure, I thought about the HTML, I thought about the CSS I wanted to use, I thought about the colors I wanted to use before I actually went ahead and started doing this on my computer. And it's super important. That's why even in professional settings, you will have people who are responsible for doing the design, and then you have coders who will try to translate that design into coding. It doesn't go the other way around. So programming is not the first step. So you actually need to know how to design. And then once you know how to design a little bit, start practicing more, and then you'll get better. Try to get inspired from other websites. Go on other websites and check out what they're doing. Check out how they're laying out stuff. Check out how they're doing modals. Check out how they're uh, using buttons, how they're using colors. Get inspiration from other people, and it will make you a better designer and a better developer. Because if you know a little bit of how to design, it's easy to actually translate that design into code. Again, there's a lot of great tools out here like Tailwind CSS. It's really good, okay? But if you actually know how to design a little bit, then it actually becomes way easier for you to actually use these tools. But if you don't, it's a painful experience, and a lot of people end up quitting coding altogether, okay? So very important, learn how to design. And then once you know that, now start applying it. Build, okay? Don't just learn skills and not do anything with it. And so once you actually master a little bit of design, that's HTML, CSS, try to actually learn JavaScript. Super important. If you want to bring interactions to your website, learn JavaScript. Actually, really, really, really spend time on learning it. There are great courses out here. You can check out courses on Udemy if you have money to buy. If you don't, there are really good courses on YouTube to learn JavaScript. Actually, make sure you learn JavaScript the correct way. And by that, I mean learn how it works. Learn the fundamentals, like the deep workings, the inner workings of the language, okay? Learn how JavaScript works under the hood. And then once you're done with that, then you can start learning JavaScript libraries. If you want to learn React, go do that. If you want to learn Vue, you can do that. If you want to learn Svelte or Angular, you can go ahead and do that. And again, as I said, if you do that, life will be very easy for you as a front-end developer. So that's already like a very good foundation now, okay? So now what should you do next? If you're a front-end developer and that's all you want to be, you could kind of stop there, but not so quick, okay? So what I would suggest after you like learn these tools and then start applying them a little bit more, what you should do is learn algorithms and data structures. Very, very important. Now, what this does is make you actually a better programmer in a general sense, okay? Because programming is about data. It's about structuring information. It's about algorithms, how to do certain things, like the steps that you need to take to actually achieve something. And once you start learning these, you will be a better problem solver, okay? Again, there are very good courses on these topics. On Udemy, you can check out the course of Cold Steel, I think his name. I forgot. That's the one I took. Very good course. Now, that will really teach you the foundations of really like basic things in programming, like sorting stuff, searching stuff, like structures, like trees. I'm not talking about physical trees like the one behind me. I'm talking about tree structures, like a family structure. They will teach you linked list. They will teach you hash maps, like a lot of the things that are really necessary, okay, that you will see in programming. And those things will actually make you a better programmer, because now you can even understand how JavaScript functions are even made. For example, JavaScript has a sort function. If you start learning algorithms and data structure, they will cover that, and you will see how some of those functions are made. You will see what algorithms are used to actually do the sorting. So you will actually learn how to write those algorithms yourself. And what that means for you is that there are functions that are not present in JavaScript currently, and you might need them. You might need to write a function like that. And it will just like make you overall a better programmer. Now, it will help you to write actually reliable code that works, because you will see here they will teach you about what if your program doesn't work, like what if you expect some input and then you don't get that. Okay, next up, design patterns. Now, design patterns is not a language, just like algorithms and data structures. It's not a language, it's just a philosophy on how to actually do certain stuff. Okay, so as humans, we've been coding for centuries, and along the way, we have learned some great things, some great patterns, and we want to make sure that we apply these patterns as much as we can when necessary, because these patterns are great. Okay, they've been very researched and they've been actually put to use, and they've shown great performance. So it's actually great if we can use these patterns to actually do certain stuff. So what can we do with design patterns? Well, design patterns cover topics like creation of objects. In JavaScript, we do actually need to create objects. Like when you create an array, that is creation, okay? So it teaches us how to create certain stuff. Maybe like you could think of factories in the real world. There are patterns for that. There's the factory pattern. And like in the real world, factories actually help us to create objects. Maybe you have a car factory, and a car factory creates cars. And you have another factory, and maybe it creates something else. And you also have patterns like the observer pattern. That is a behavioral pattern, which means how do our objects behave, okay? So an example of the observer pattern in JavaScript is event handlers. Let's say you have a button that you want to listen to. Okay, maybe you want to listen to a click event on a button, and then you want to run a function. That is a pub sub pattern, or the observer pattern, where the button is being observed, and then when something happens to it, all the events that we registered for a click on the button will be notified of the change. Okay, and you also have structural patterns. That is things like iterators. In JavaScript, you actually do have something called an iterator. There are certain APIs that you might use, and instead of returning to you an array, you might actually get an iterator where you can keep calling next and then get the next item, get the next item, and then you get the next item, and so on and so on. Okay, so like these patterns actually help us. And also state management, for example, React is kind of built on top of uh, the philosophy of how to handle state in applications, because React is a library based on state. Like you have data, and then when it changes, React re-renders to show you the new updates. Okay, so you will also learn that. And then they will also cover things like objects and something called polymorphism. What polymorphism is, you can have something that is the same but also different. And I mean, if you take an example of cars, you can have automatic cars and then you can have manual cars. Those two have similarities, but they also have differences. And what polymorphism does is it teaches you how to treat these objects as the same, even though they are kind of a little bit different. So design patterns, very important topic, okay? Learn this, you can be able to write maintainable code, because our programs are forever changing. Not because sometimes we want to change them, but because maybe we're working for a company and they will need to update their system. Maybe we need to change something. So what design patterns allow us to do is to design our applications in a way that allows for change, okay? That allows for kind of easy change, I would say, instead of, because, like if you just design your applications without thinking about what happens if change were to be made on it, then you will be in pain, okay? You will have a very hard time changing your app, and you might break some stuff. So design patterns keep us away from doing that, because it preaches the notion of you can extend your code but not modify it, basically breaking what already works just to change it, okay? It allows us to write code that is maintainable. Again, you'll hear people talking about you need to be able to write readable code, maintainable code, reliable code. This is what they're talking about. If you learn these topics, you'll be able to actually achieve this. But you can't just learn JavaScript and suddenly start writing maintainable code, readable code, reliable code, because you don't know what reliable code is. You don't know what maintainable code looks like, really. You know the terms, or maybe like what they're talking about by reliable code, maintainable code, and all these terms, but you don't actually know how to do it. Now, if you learn these things, you'll actually be able to do this on your own. So design patterns, very important. There's very good courses again on YouTube. There's a channel I think called I forgot his name. What is his name? But yeah, I forgot the name of the person, but check it out on YouTube. I will probably put a link down below in the description of the channel. He's got very good courses. Again, very great courses. Design patterns, very important. Believe me, it will make you a very good developer, and you will have a great time enjoying a good developer experience, okay? And also, you will learn new terms, and you can go ahead and boast to your friends a little bit. It feels great. It will make you overall a better programmer. You'll be able to solve problems quicker and easier. You'll be able to think of solutions that are very performant, that are very reliable, that also are easy to extend, in case maybe someday someone wants to perform a change on it, they can easily do that because the system was designed with that in mind.